Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kitica technically, but let's not complicate it. I've always been Kiri, even in Croatia. Kiri means maca, and that was my first Croatian nickname. My family gave it to me. I was born in Zagreb, Croatia, which was a part of Yugoslavia at the time. And I lived there until my mid-teens when the Homeland War started. That's when I moved to the States to graduate from high school in Orlando, Florida, and then continue my studies to two American colleges, one in Atlanta, Georgia, and another one in New York City. The Atlanta, Georgia was a small fine arts college, and the New York City was a big private university. And after that, after some 8 years of my US experience, I returned to the aftermath of war in Croatia, which was terrifying. I think it was worse than the war. There were economy is horrible, and I couldn't get a job for I think about 2 years. I was working as a receptionist, helping my mom in her store, learning a computer so I can design the most primitive business cards for family and friends and everybody else. And couldn't find myself basically with a fine arts background. And eventually I got hired as a copywriter in an ad agency, which was a really fancy job at the time there. And this is where I started thriving. I really found myself there because, copywriting encompassed all of my writing passion, my playful words, my analytical thinking, and I really enjoyed creating taglines, slogans, scripts, strategies, and all that. And I was amongst good creative people. It was a healthy environment at the time, as I said, because outside was quite dark. So I grew, and then I got hired in Croatia's most awarded agency, which is even today one of the best, if not the best. And I got promoted there to senior copywriter and grew into creative director. Eventually got sent to Baku, Azerbaijan to open an agency there with a colleague who was a managing director. I was a creative director. So everything was smooth sailing, working with hundreds of people. The smallest agency I worked for had at least 25 people. So, among 10, 15 people to the one in Zagreb that had 80 or close to 100 at one point. It was always buzzing with creativity, and I really liked that. After 4 years, I returned to Zagreb, to my hometown, and I realized I can go back to that agency. I mean, I was ready for my own independent work, and I started my own agency, which was quite a big shocker because, you're coming from working with so many people to being a one-woman band, and which means I had to do the things I loved doing and I hated doing, which was Excel sheets, offers in all these accounting things that, it's not that I hated doing them, but invoicing is not my favorite thing to do in the world. I had other people take care of that, other departments. So I had to do that, and the pressure was immense. And I think this is where my soul started complaining a little bit, because I got into heavy drugs in order to keep up with the volume and deliver everything on time and be always the smiley and happy and cheerful one, knowing what she's doing and everything. Eventually my drug use, which was occasional and fun, turned into drug abuse, particularly cocaine, and my nervous system just shut down at some point. And this is where I became suddenly religious, like when you're flying on a plane and you're not religious until then. So not believing in God as it is, I try to find my own definition of God. my whole life. And I think I did when when my system crashed on cocaine one night, and I watched all these NDE videos on YouTube and the near-death experiences. And I realized, okay, it's just this wonderful, divine, very warm, unconditional love. Basically, that's what God is. So knowing that, I asked it, I prayed to it, either clean me up or kill me, because I don't want to live like this anymore. There's just something bursting out of me. And, excuse me, I gotta take a sip. And that night, of course, it hurt me. And the way it works, God, is, we know that before from the Bible or wherever, in mysterious ways. And those ways for me were 3 consecutive deaths in my family, total shit show. Me having to move from my hometown of Zagreb, which is continental Croatia, to a family house in Duce, which is Adriatic, just south of Split. I mean, gorgeous place, but not under those circumstances. I moved in winter. My aunt, who inherited a house from her parents, got COVID and was hooked to a respirator for a month, and then eventually died. Left me 2 little dogs to take care of, and both of them were very old, and I had to put them, I had to give them for adoption because I have a dog myself, and they could not get along at all. They were, at each other's throats all the time. So eventually when I housed them and I felt all right with that decision, I realized I inherited that house, and I took the money and ran from Croatia. I said, this is the end of my advertising career, and I ran away basically from everything that reminded me of the dark times and from living the life from the side of ego, basically. And I traveled throughout Europe, me and my dog, and I was searching for my home. I was going towards Spain, where I live now, but I said, I'm leaving it open. If the universe wants me to stop in France and I fall in love with France, I'll stay there. So, and I think this is exactly what the universe loves us to do, is to let us ease with the control a little bit. It's good to have dreams and everything, but it's definitely the best to leave it, the final result, to the universe, because we are limited in our brains, and we can only be pleasantly surprised when we ease on control. So I did, and we had a fun exploring the entire Mediterranean coast from Florence. I mean, we started in Florence, in a small village in Tuscany first, and then Florence, and then eventually we went along the Mediterranean, in Nizza in France, Cannes, Marseille, Salou, when we crossed to Spain, Valencia, Alicante, Fuengirola, Mijas, all these wonderful tourist little spots, which at the time, which was winter, they were not cramped with tourists. They were, dogs are allowed on the beaches, which are 22 kilometers of sand beaches. I mean, I loved it. I did my Wim Hof breathing and ice bathing while my dog was chasing rabbits on the dunes of the beaches, and it was a wonderful healing period for me. Eventually, I found I was following these real estate sites for finding my forever home, because paying rent was stupid. All these little Airbnbs cost us thousands of euros. And I found a beautiful apartment in the mountains of Malaga province, this apartment I'm in now. It's huge, I mean not huge, it's 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, it's wonderful, but it has a view, the most beautiful view of olive groves and a lake in the distance, and we are right below, we are in a little town called Alcaucin, and we are right below the national park of Sierra de Alhama, Almijara, and Tejeda. It's a big mountain range here that, you know, borders with Granada and I don't know even which province. And yeah, I've been on this spiritual journey from my biggest crash and my awakening on that beach below the family house. That was 7 years ago. And now I'm at the final stage. And I know that I'm at the final stage of my healing because of the wonderful people who started their channels on YouTube and whose video titles are guiding me slowly. Sometimes I don't even have to click on the video. Sometimes I know from the title it pertains to me. I feel it resonating. And sometimes I do feel a nudge to click and then I get the whole story. So now I'm at the final phase, which is final stage, which is surrender. This one has been the most raw and most brutal so far. Because, you know, throughout this time, you're basically God and the universe and everybody else in the universe is trying to help us humans. Healing is just like we're like an onion. It's peeling the layers of what we're not. Just like Rumi said, you don't have to look for love. You just have to remove all the barriers to it, because we are love, and the ego, which comes from fear, is the one preventing us to have everything we want and everyone we want at all times. So because of these wonderful people that helped me, I created a channel, because now I have healed my invisibility wound, the fear of success, all these things, all these layers fell off slowly, and I'm ready to share my experiences down to the nitty-gritty. And I'll tell you everything. I have no shame whatsoever. I mean, I've been a bitch, a lover, a saint, a mother, like Meredith Brooks' song. And I was becoming for a long time. Yeah, I wanted to create this channel, which is the space for the wounded, the broken, the hopeless, the curious, the healing, the ones who are almost there like me, the becoming. And if you stumbled upon this channel, I hope you find what you're looking for, and I hope that my way of interpreting some of these experiences will be interesting for you. So welcome. More on the channel is in its description, so I don't bother you with all these things, but this was a little bit about me. And yeah, I mean, if you got any questions or whatever, feel free to comment, subscribe, share, anything you feel called to do, and stick around. Godspeed.